Hello everyone, my name is Joydeep. I secured the top score in the examination of CBAT or personality test, specifically taken in the examination of RRB NTPC graduate for the post of station master. So I have been requested by many of my friends and aspirants who are preparing for RRB NTPC to share my experience and how I practiced for this examination. So here it is, but I know it's a bit late. I could have made it a little bit earlier, so I add my reasons. So let's start. To me, the psychology test is all about practice. The more you practice, the more you will score in the final examination, because there is no current affair or something, that question that you or someone will get answer for it and someone will not. There's no luck factor included in this examination. The more you practice, the more you score. Simple as that. So for the practice, I would suggest there are many platforms available in the market, but I would suggest to you to take the unlimited education, where I took test, because their tests were so similar to the final examination, and 60 to 70% question are exactly same in the final examination. For the other platform, you could say, where the textbook you cannot rely on textbook, because the textbook series are so easy and their interface completely different. And one main factor is that the scroll button that is usually locked in the final examination. In the textbook test, you can scroll by scrolling the scroller. So but in the final examination, you have to click and drag it to make use of this dragging thing or scrolling thing, which takes time, which also you have to practice more to get used to it. So that is it. And if you take unlimited education, where the teacher is Abhijit sir, which is who guided most of us, so in his video he explained all the section completely and clearly, how you can attend and how you can increase your speed in some section. So but I also explained all section a little short format, because all the explanation are given in this platform. But I have to clear one thing, that psychology test contains 30% of your final merit list score, and CBT2 contains 70% of that. So they add the CBT2 score and your psychology test to make it the final merit list for your station master post. So 30% is a lot for me, for everyone actually. If you are lagging behind in the CBT2 examination score, your score is little low, you can make up this score by scoring higher in the psychology test for the every section. So let's begin with every section. First section is intelligence test. Intelligence test is easy. The time given is around 10 minutes, as I remember. The intelligence test is all about, they are given in a 5 diagram. You have to choose the which is odd, kind of like a reasoning, kind of what it is reasoning. So there are 35 questions you have to answer in 10 minutes. That is doable, but the main factor is you have to use to with the drag and scroll, click and scroll button. You cannot use the scroller. So it takes more than usual time, because if you had the scroller, you would finish the section more quickly. So that is there. So there is nothing more for me to explain to you in the intelligence test. No tricks I used in this section, because all this is about, you have to remember all the figures, all the diagrams. If you store it in your mind by practicing more and more, there are so many sectional tests and full tests available in unlimited education. The more you practice, the more you score in this section. There is no shortcut in the intelligence test. Then comes the odd one out test. Basically you have to add the odd numbers in the mixed format of odd and even numbers. So in there are 30 questions, and this section had me so confusing and so time taking. This section gave me much more headache than other section. So for the odd one test, the basic technique is explained by our Abhijit sir. which is finger technique, that every time you hit 10 you fold your one finger, 20 second finger, 30 third finger. That's how it is. But I specifically modified it to a bench table technique. So I'll show you. I hit the table. So every time you hit 10, you click, you hit your pinky finger to the table, 10. Then comes to 20, 20, 30, 40, 50. And if you cross 50, you all up again, then 60, 70, 80. So this helped me a lot to make it more faster. There's no word in more faster, make it faster. So, and there goes the second test, and you have to practice a lot in this section. Most of my practice time is invested in this section. So third test is spatial test, which is short route test. You have to find the route from one point to another point, ignoring the barriers. So how could you there's so many methods. The distance method, how many distance you travel, in which direction it is shorter. So all this explained in the platform. So there's nothing for me to explain. If I had to explain, I need the diagram to show you. So I had no setup at all. I had my camera on and just started recording. So I would suggest you will be get used to it. So it is not that hard, but the practice is necessary. There are 40 questions in spatial test. You have to clear it like 7 to 8 minutes, I guess, as I remember. So this is spatial test. Then comes the information ordering test. So the fourth section is information ordering. It is a bit complicated to explain to you because it's like a passage. Like you will be given a number, then you have to add or subtract any number like +2, -1, +3, -3. Basically 3 types of calculation: +1, +2, +3, and -1, -2, and -3 in the form of a box, like 9 boxes. Each box contains -2, +2, that way. And in the figure you will be given the boxes. Some boxes are empty, some boxes are filled with calculation. You have to ignore the empty boxes and calculate through the passage. The final product you get, you have to answer that. There's a trick in this section also, because the 9 boxes, if you add all the calculation, it becomes 0. So one way you can do it, which are not empty, you calculate this and get to your final product. Other way is you ignore the filled box and add the empty box. The empty box's value also given in the above, will be given in the above figure, and you have to calculate the empty box, and which is product you find like -2, and because the number is ultimately 0, if you get -2, you have to revert it to the +2. The initial number that is given like 4 or 5 or 8, you have to, like, if you final product is -2, you have to reverse this number like +2, and if you had 8, you add your +2, that gets to 10, and 10 will be given in the figure form, and you have to choose the figure. So this is a trick. If you don't understand this a bit complicated, I know, because if you start practicing, you will get to know very easily. And if you practice 1 or 2 sectional tests, then watch my video, you will get to it. Because I don't want to explain it more, because the more I explain, the more complicated it gets, because it's in the form of visuals, right? And I had no setup to visualize and hand to hand show you. So that's it for the information ordering test. Next comes to personality test, and personality test is like if you are a aspirant, there are reasoning called statement, conclusion, arguments. It's like very much similar to that, but in the personality test there are 35 question. Main thing for the personality test that you cannot be biased, or you cannot show your dual nature of your personality. If you stick to your personality, you will get the highest score in this section. So in this section is 35 question given like 12 minutes. Basically there is adequate time for giving the test. I would suggest you have to become ideal in every sense. that you are an ideal man, you choose the ideal options only, and you have to be unbiased, because if you show your dual nature in the personality test, your score will be lower. The more you show your similar features, like for me, the last examination, there was two type of question. I'll explain by two question. One question was a roundabout question, that a person in your office, which is your colleague, is always dirty, always wears dirty clothes or keep himself a little dirty. So what would you do? You would talk to him as a naturally other colleagues, you would ignore him, or you would do nothing. So basically in your mind you thought that if he is my colleague, regardless he is not clean or dirty, you talk to him normally. But there comes your dual nature, because you, in earlier question you choose you are neat and clean, you keep your office areas clean, and now you are choosing you will get along with the colleague who is dirty. So this shows your dual nature. So this way you will get your question wrong. So if you first choose that you like or prefer cleanliness everywhere, you have to answer every question that comes after by that mentality only. In this way, if you keep your personality unbiased, that will get you much more score. The only section that gave me a boost to rank first is this personality test. I answered every question and I maintained my main personality. I didn't vacillate from there. So that way I get my rank 1, because in every other section many of students scored full out of 4 like myself, but in personality test they lacked, they fall behind. This is all for myself, and best of luck for everyone who is giving this psychology test. Keep yourself motivated and practice every day. You'll get highest score, and 24 is nothing huge. That is 18, 19 an average, because they don't even take a subscription to any platform to practice this. They practice from books. In books you will just know the question, you will not get used to the time boundation that you have to practice. So this way 24 is not a huge score, you will score easily, but you have to practice every day and give a huge amount of time, because there is an unlimited education. The test were, I guess, 270 tests with repetition allowed, and I given like 230 tests with repeating. That is, if I repeat one time, that 230 double 460 times. And I in many section, I would not say that I attempt every test twice, but some section I even given the test for 4th time, 5th time. So the more you practice, the more you score. And that's all. Best of luck again.